work, what we have wanted to do.
Okay. Okay. What else comes to your mind when we talk about the word stress? Okay. Has anyone seen that movie, Atiti Tum Kab Jaoge? Has anyone seen that movie? We have seen? Okay, let's, for an example, there are few unwanted or uninvited guests who come, and no matter how hard we try, but we cannot tell them to go. You may be euphemistic, you may be harsh, you may be straight on their face, but still they refuse to leave, right? So, in a very layman language, I define stress as an intruder which is bound to come in. There's no escape. I would really request if all of you can turn your cameras on. Let me see how many lovely people do I have. It's a request. It's a request, please. Right? So, I mean, it's that unwanted guest, no matter how hard you try, it's bound to come and it will not leave. So, after today's session also, we cannot expect that now, from now onwards, there would be no stress in my life. No, stress is not going to go anywhere. But through today's session, we learn what is how to see. There are basically, there's a good stress and then there's a bad stress. So first we'll be talking about like what's a good stress and then what's a bad stress, and then obviously how can we convert the distress into eustress, as the title says, right? So let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Not now.
Not
Earlier it
now.
was possible.
Just
Earlier it.
Okay. Let me try once again. I'll go to share. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, as you know, the rule says like, because now I won't be able to see you people. So it's a request. If you have any question, unmute yourself and you can ask me the question. And the meeting has been put on recording. I'll be sharing the recording link. So as the today's webinar says itself, Eustress Express webinar, we just try to ensure that maximum of the distress turns into eustress. But before we do that, it's very important, like a little bit about me. This is a small introduction about me. I've been associated with multiple things, and recently I went to Bangalore for a 2 days specific subject specific training. So a small introduction of mine into field of education for past 21 years. Now moving ahead, as I said, when I was checking the profile of my audience, I found there were so many common stressors: student behavior, administrative workload, parent expectation, then, staff room politics, academic workload. And other than that, there's one more thing which troubles us a lot, and that is our expectation from ourselves. How many times does it happen, no, that there is a real me and then there's a real me, and the gap between two of them is so unrealistic. Whether I try or I may try my level best, but at times I fail to reach to that perfect me picture of mine. I mean, has it ever happened to any one of you sitting here? Has it ever happened?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes. Staff
Sometimes.
room
Yes.
teaching. Woman. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It happens.
Yes. So now these were your expectations. When I said, as I was going through the form, many of you wanted immediate stress relief techniques. Some of you demanded for how to convert distress into motivation. Some of you wanted emotional regulation tools. Some of you wanted work-life balance strategies. So I have tried to cover every demand which I could have. And before moving to the final slide, moving ahead with the presentation, again, it's a request. If the meeting ends, you can click on the same link and rejoin. Now, the goal of today's session is I'll be talking all about the practical stress management strategies. As I said, after today's session, if I say, oh, you won't be worried or you won't be bothered about what is stress, 100%. So no, that won't happen. Remember, overnight magic is not going to happen. Yes, but you will be better equipped with there will be better tools in your toolkit, which definitely are going to be a game changer whenever you come under any stressful situation. I'll just try to teach you some emotional regulation practices just because when it comes to the word stress, it is any outside element. It may be a person, it may be a situation, it may be an event, it may be my internal dialogue, but it is something which has the capability to pull me out of my equilibrium, that is the balanced state of my mind and body, and throw me into that vicious circle of overthinking. And the more we overthink, the more our physiology changes. We'll be discussing about this in the upcoming, this is like today's agenda. In upcoming slides, we'll be covering all these things which are mentioned on this slide. Now, can anyone tell me like what is a eustress and what is a distress? I'm stopping my screen sharing for a while. Can anyone tell me what is a eustress and what is a distress? I would really appreciate if you can turn your cameras on. It's just a request, a humble request. Anyone? You can write in the chat box. You can unmute yourself and speak. Like, what is eustress and what is distress? Okay, how many of you have faced that stress when like it's early in the morning and you have to leave, you're already late, but then you hurry up, somehow you hurry up and you're able to reach your goal on time. Is that a good stress or a bad stress? What kind of stress would you categorize it as? Anyone? No one to answer? Okay. By the time any event, any happening, any person, that person is pushing you to your good stress. Thank you, Rashi ma'am. Thank you. Anything, any event, any person, like which so far is okay. Wonderful, Falguni ma'am. Yes. So something which has the capacity to push me to my positive front so that I am the most productive in the most productive phase of my life, obviously is going to be a good thing for me, but not always, right? We are not, sometimes it so happens we procrastinate, we put on things for tomorrow, and there are multiple reasons for that. One of the common factors is like fear of failure, fear of being judged. There are multiple factors because of which we procrastinate. So the basic difference between eustress and distress is something which is bad for my health. How many times have you seen your physiology changing when you are in stressful situation? Increased heartbeats, sweating, maybe sweaty palms, or maybe there's butterflies in my stomach, or I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling worried, I may feel nauseatic. There are multiple physiological signs which start reflecting whenever our mind throws us into a stressful situation, right? So the very first thing you need to identify whenever you are in a stressful situation and you feel like, oh, how to identify, like every day, it's an everyday story. Anything which is taking me, which is pushing me, but to a negative physiology, obviously is going to be a bad stress. It can never be a good stress for me. But any kind of stress which pushes me to my fullest potential, obviously it may be a little toll taking at that time, but it is showing me the thing which I need to do and I'm learning something out of it, obviously is going to be categorized as the good stress, right? Let's do the sharing again. Yes. So this is the first slide, which explains us the difference between what is eustress and what is distress. Now, as this picture in itself says, eustress is something which is positive. If taken in a healthy way, it boosts focus, it increases creativity, and it kinds of create alertness in your body, right? And this is that phase where you feel oh, this is the phase I always wanted to. You're highly motivated. You do not need an external motivating element. You already have your surroundings, or your inner self is motivating you. Oh, there's an outcome which I have to reach, and you reach to that outcome with your fullest potential. You never feel tired after having done that particular work. Why? Because there's a purpose behind that stress which you're taking. Probably it may be not meeting my deadlines, but let's take it in a more positive manner. Like it's kind of, no, I finished the novel which I would have been wanting to study for, like read for, let's say a couple of days, or anything which is kind of giving a fulfillment, a sense of fulfillment to my life. If that is putting me under pressure, it's always going to be a fruitful thing. But again, distress, feeling tired always all the time, feeling anxious, worried, and then there's a feeling of burnout, like I really don't know what to do. I'm always into that negative word phrase, I'm not good, I'm not sufficient, I'm not capable of doing that. So every now and then you feel overwhelmed. There's no stoppage to that. That is first. And over here, as I discussed, your physiology would be the first thing to tell you that you're not in a good state of your equilibrium. And that's the first sign which we need to understand and which we need to address. Now, as I was going through the forms, all of us have the common stresses. I'm also a teacher. I know student behavior, parent expectation, peer pressure, result, and there sometimes we lack resources. Sometimes our working hours are more than needed. The most important is the poor self-image. Many a times it happens that we are thrown into the loop of helplessness, not by because we are not good, we are not capable, but because of continuously hearing by someone or the else, oh, you couldn't do this, you're not able to do this, it was so simple, the other person did it in 5 minutes or in 10 minutes. And continuous hearing of that not helps me because it isn't done in a positive way, but actually pushes me to an extent where I create a poor self-image of myself. I am not capable. I am not good. I am not that good to have starting this work. These are multiple sentences which we say to ourselves. And the more you say these negative sentences which say or which put up a poor self-image of yourself, the more stressed we feel out. Clear till here? Can I move further, or anyone has a question to be asking? Can I move ahead? Okay. Yes. Now, just take the screenshot of this, and then today we'll quickly practice one of the strategies. I'm stopping my screen sharing for a while, but before I do that, I request you to take the screenshot so that later you can practice this. Yes. Now, for this activity, there are 4 to 5 things mentioned, but we'll be practicing one. But for that, I need all of your cameras to be turned on. Please turn on your cameras. So that, you yourself will be seeing that difference. Please turn on your cameras so that I can see how are you being engaged with this particular activity. So you'll be able to reap the benefits only if you connect with me, and connection can happen only when I see you. So it's a humble request. Please turn on your cameras. Okay. So we'll be practicing progressive muscle relaxation. For this, all of you are supposed to first sit straight. Sit straight and with as firmness as you all can, and then close your eyes. Just keep on connecting with my voice. Okay. You have to feel the pressure as of from your head to your toe. Every muscle, close your eyes and feel that right from your head to your toe, each and every muscle of yours is tensed. There's too much of the tension stored in the muscle. Feel that tension. Your hands are stiff, your feet are stiff, your legs, your shoulder, everything is like kind of very stiff. Once you have to seep in that feeling of toughness in you. There's too much of storage in your shoulders. There's too much of weight stored in your complete body. And you're feeling too heavy. You're feeling like as of, and there may be some particular area where you may be feeling this storage the maximum. Focus on that area. It may be your shoulders, it may be your stomach, it may be your head, it may be your neck, it may be any part of your body which may feel the stiffest at this moment. Once you reach to that extreme point, just stay connected with my voice. Now, just focus on that particular part where stress, is felt the most. Now, that just start with the feeling as of you're relaxing that particular muscle. One muscle at a time. If your stress is stored in the shoulder, just feel that you're releasing your shoulders. Take some deep breaths. Breathe out, and with every breath you're exhaling, you're releasing your shoulders. You can feel that stiffness going down. You can feel that. There's a remarkable difference now in the heaviness which you had earlier. Now you're feeling a little relaxed in your shoulders. Moving ahead to your, once your shoulders are relaxed, go down to your belly area. Feel that all the muscles in your belly are getting relaxed. Your arms, your belly, your legs, your feet. This relaxation is traveling through your body. It's traveling down through your body. You're feeling just relaxed. There's no more stress stored in the body. Each and every muscle of your body is slowly relaxing. You're feeling very comfortable, very relaxed, just drooping down. Let your body droop down. Let this feeling of relaxation seep in your body and in your mind. As if like you've kept a heavy weight aside and now you're all lightweight. Feel this lightness in your body. Feel this feather-like feeling in your body. There shouldn't be anything which you've stored now. And just at this moment, just anchor yourself with the sentence, I am capable of relaxing my body and my mind. This power lies within me. Just seep in this. Once you feel completely relaxed, just rub your palms and slowly put it on your eyes, and you can open your eyes. But do only when you feel like, yes, you're relaxed. Take your own time. Don't be in a hustle. By the time you don't feel relaxed, don't open your eyes. Your breath is at ease. Your body is at ease. Everything is feeling so lightweight, and you're like very, very, very relaxed. Yes, Rashi ma'am. How did you feel? You're mute. Yes.
Quite good, ma'am.
Yes. So whenever, like, let's Falguni ma'am open her eyes and then we'll discussing. Anyone else who tried this would like to share his or her experience? Falguni ma'am, how are we feeling?
Cool.
Cool. I'm
Cool.
Yes. So this is one of the most effective techniques called as progressive muscle relaxation. Under this, you know what happens whenever, like, if you must have felt there is one particular part where you feel stressed the most. For me, it's my shoulders. It's like this. Like, for someone it may be the torso, till the torso. For someone it may be the legs start feeling heavy. Each one of us has a different center, though stress is kind of running throughout the body, but one organ or one part is the epicenter. So, whenever you're feeling that you're too stressed, you're not able to take this, and your physiology is showing you those changes, just focus on that epicenter. Why? Because the minute you relax that epicenter, rest of the body will kind of start taking the dictated, not dictated so called, but the commands, the silent commands, rest of the body will follow. So when you know that, okay, it's been 3 periods when I've been teaching continuously. Now, fourth period, just relax your mind and your body and then enter into any of the classes. Even you can get this done in your classroom also, especially post lunch. The children, when they feel heavy, when they feel sleepy, practice this and you'll see a remarkable change. So, first thing first is each night, even before sleeping each night, you can practice this progressive muscle relaxation technique. If want, I'll be sharing a Word document so that you can, this is something which you can practice on your own. So when I'll be providing you with your notes and all, so I'll be sharing this doc with you, right? Now, moving ahead. Yes. So out of these, the other than this, as we, breathing is one of the most important things, which says a lot. Physiology, change in physiology is your breathing becomes heavy when we are stressed. So that very first sign, at that moment, do not try to take control on your psychology, rather keep a check on your physiology. Come back and hold your breath. If you are capable of changing the pattern of your breathing, half the job is done. Then, other than that, you can go for a positive this visualization also, wherein you can imagine yourself in a very happy or in a very calm and a serene place, which is kind of your sanctuary. You can feel literally I'm there. Now, some tips, as I said, because there were many things which you people said, how can you turn distress into motivation? First thing first is reframing the situation. See, not every situation which comes for the good. It's very easy to say, oh, you could have done this, oh, you could have done that. But the minute we just change our mindset from, oh, I'll not see it as a challenge, but I'll see it as an opportunity. You will see a remarkable difference. You'll see your stress levels, they start declining, right? Then, instead of taking a bigger goal, there's a technique in NLP called as chunking, wherein you just set small chunks of work to be done. And then just be focused, be worried only on the things which are in your control, and each thing which is in your control, once fulfilled, celebrate that. May it be a very small victory, but celebrate that. Then, as I said, positive self-talk is one of the most important things. Most of the time we feel like, oh, I'm not sufficient. Oh, I'm not kind of good. This meeting will end in 10 minutes and then we'll be restarting with the same link. So by the time it doesn't end, we'll continue with the same link. So it is from I can't to I'll try. At times it is very challenging. At times it is very difficult. But you are there to motivate yourself. People will come, they will act as an external motivator, but at the end of the day, it's we who have to, kind of come up with everything. Then channelizing energy into action. How many times we feel frustrated? Here I'm talking energy in terms of anger, in terms of burnout wala feeling, in terms of I'm not sufficient, in terms of frustration. All this is energy stored in you, but this energy is stored in us and is reflecting in us in a negative way. What a beautiful shift it would be if I change, if I channelize, if I harness that energy into an action. What kind of action? Something which brings me a feasible solution. It may be one step at a time, but even if I take one step, the journey begins. Then see, we all have friends around, right? Though there's staff room, there's no one, I suppose that there's no one who can be called as friend, and on the other hand, there's no one who can be called enemy. So what to be done? Out of so many people, we just have one confidant with whom we can just go and share. So the first thing first is, when I'm talking about building a supportive network, sit with like-minded people who do not complain on each and everything. Rather, they just they sit around, they discuss, they try to find out all the possible things they can do, and hence they become your morale booster, rather than sitting and cribbing, oh, this work has come again. Like right now, how many of you are going through that Eustress wala work, or it is done in all the schools? How many of you are done with the Eustress work, or still going on? How many of you are there who are still doing this Eustress work? No one. All are done. No one would like to answer. Okay, fine. So if like I'll constantly keep on complaining, oh, this work has come again, any which ways, I have to finish the work. There's no escape from it. So rather than sitting with those people who are continuously cribbing about it, why not if I sit with a set of people who are like, let's do it. I'll help you and you help me. Then there may be many kind of things which will points, moments, or events which will be setbacks. But don't take them as setback, rather take them as a feedback. What has this in store for me? Take it as a lesson, and you'll see a remarkable shift in your mindset. As I said, dealing with stress is just changing your perception from complaining to accepting. The first thing first is, I cannot skip that. I have to do this. And if I have to do this, let me do it happily, rather than, always being in a complaining tone about it. So moving ahead, some of the NLP techniques which I use, as I said, reframing. Reframing is something which is one of the most important techniques. I'm stopping my sharing here again. See, as I said, no, the minute you reframe any sentence, you can think about any sentence. I'm giving you the example. Let me see who changes it. I'm a failure. Okay, this is a simple sentence. I'm a failure. How can you reframe this? How can you reframe this? Is there any way in which I can reframe it? Okay, who invented bulb?
Thomas Edison.
What was the statement which he gave? There's a very famous statement given by him. I did not fail 1,000 times, but I learned 1,000 ways of how not to invent a bulb, if I'm not wrong. Yes? So, similar way, whenever this sentence comes to your mind, I am a failure, reframe this. I take some extra attempts as compared to others for doing a work, but at the end, eventually I'm able to do it. See this shift in your mind. If you're taking these sentences to your classroom, you'll be amazed to see there are multiple ways like, oh, why me only, God? How many times you say, why me only, God? Very tough. At times, I also say, no, ki God, you find only me as the person, like throw challenges on her because she's capable of taking. So keep on throwing, keep one after the other. You keep on tossing the balls to me. But then I sit and then I calmly think, what is in it for me? Have you ever seen a rag picker? Rag picker, kachra binne wala. Have you ever seen that? What does it do? What does he or she do? A rag picker?
He keeps on finding one or the other thing so that he can survive. Means what next he is going to get out of the garbage he's finding.
Great. Falguni ma'am?
Trafficker searches for the good things. I mean, from which he or she can benefits. Okay.
There's a big
out of
heap
the
of
garbages.
yes,
Out of
yes.
the garbages. From garbages, he or she wants to get something good.
So this is what happens with us. People are around us to throw things on us, right? They may be giving us a heap of useless things. But if I am like that rag picker who can like, oh, there's a useful thing. There lies one useful thing for me. Isn't that beautiful moment we all are in search for? That should be the perspective. Like, as I always say, perception is projection. Again, I'm saying I cannot run away from stress, neither me nor you. But obviously, we can equip ourselves with techniques which can help us to come out of at least this stress, distress, and change it into eustress. How can I make it? What's the useful thing this situation has brought in for me? What can I get the best out of it, right? Now, I'm ending the meeting for a minute. I'm